A single thought that's been quietly shaping your life from the inside out. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's powerful. And if you don't take control of it, it will run your life without your permission. Every single day, you're having thoughts, tens of thousands of them. But there's one that repeats more than the rest. One that drives your self-image, your choices, your standards, your results. And most people don't even realize it's there. That thought might sound different for everyone. Maybe it's "I'm not enough," or "I always mess up," or "people don't really see me." Whatever yours is, that quiet, automatic loop has been operating in the background for years. And unless you interrupt it, unless you rewrite it, it becomes the script you live by. And if that script is rooted in doubt, fear, shame, or limitation, your entire life becomes a reflection of that story. It doesn't matter how big your dreams are if your inner dialogue keeps whispering that you're not the kind of person who gets to win. You can have all the potential in the world, but if your dominant thought is filled with self-doubt, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself every time you get close to success. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of an opportunity? How many times have you known what to do and still didn't do it? It wasn't because you lacked information. It was because you were carrying around a belief system that told you you're not ready, you'll probably fail, or you're not like those other people who win. That voice has been lying to you, and you've been listening. But not anymore. Starting today, you take your power back. You stop letting that one toxic thought dictate your future. You stop giving authority to a narrative that was built during your weakest, most confused, or most painful moments. You're not that person anymore. You've grown, you've surrounded, you've changed. And now it's time for your thoughts to reflect that evolution. You don't have to fake confidence. You build it, one new thought at a time. Every time you choose to believe in your power over your past, you rewire your brain. You literally reshape the neural pathways that determine how you show up. That's not self-help fluff. That's neuroscience. That's the foundation of transformation. And it starts with one decision. No more unconscious thinking. No more automatic self-attack. No more letting old wounds write new chapters. From now on, your thoughts align with the identity you are choosing to build, not the one you were handed. You start speaking to yourself like someone who matters. You stop identifying with your limitations and start identifying with your potential. You begin to see yourself not as someone who is behind, but as someone who is becoming. You remind yourself that every successful person you've ever admired has fought the same inner war. They had that same voice of doubt, but they didn't obey it. They challenged it, and then they replaced it. And now it's your turn. Your voice becomes your power when you learn to use it, not against yourself, but for yourself. There's a new identity waiting to be claimed, one that's not defined by fear or failure, one that's not built on insecurity or comparison. This new identity thinks with intention, speaks with clarity, acts with courage. It doesn't ask, "What if I'm not good enough?" It asks, "How good can I get if I never stop growing?" That shift, that one change in thought, can completely rewire your reality, because your results don't come from your goals. They come from your standards. And your standards are created by the thoughts you tolerate. If you tolerate thoughts of weakness, you'll accept weak results. If you tolerate thoughts of doubt, you'll accept delayed action. But the moment you start choosing strength, choosing belief, choosing drive, your entire life starts to elevate. Now here's the truth. Reprogramming your mind is not an overnight process. You don't just flip a switch and wake up transformed. It takes work. It takes honesty. It takes the courage to sit down with yourself and identify the lie you've been living under. It takes discipline to catch the negative thought in the moment and say, "Not today." It takes vision to see a future version of yourself and live from their mindset, even if it doesn't feel natural yet. But every day you practice that, you grow, you evolve, you rise. And one day you look back and realize that the thought that once ruled your life no longer has power over you. You're not just surviving, you're designing, you're not reacting, you're creating, you're not stuck, you're rising. And if you're feeling that resistance right now, if your mind is pushing back, whispering, yeah, but it's not that easy, that's not a red light. That's not a reason to stop. That is your signal. It means you're brushing up against your edge. It means you're finally confronting the boundary that's been holding you back. That discomfort is the doorway to your next level. Your mind is not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you in the realm of the known, the comfortable, the safe. But here's the truth, you weren't born for safety. You weren't made to live inside the lines. You weren't designed for a life of hiding, retreating, or waiting. You were born to build, to create, to rise, to make noise, to make impact. And that means you must become someone who no longer lives by default, but by decision. You can't wait for the perfect time or the perfect conditions. You have to decide, right now, that your life is worth more than the cycle you've been stuck in. And that decision starts with awareness. It starts by noticing, becoming aware of the silent loop playing in your mind on repeat, the one that's been narrating your life from the shadows. So stop for a second, take a breath, get honest. What is the one thought that's been quietly running the show? Is it, I'm not good enough? I don't have what it takes. I'll always mess it up. What is the belief you didn't choose but accepted anyway? Because that thought has power over you only when it goes unchallenged. But the moment you see it, the moment you name it, you begin to take that power back. And now it's it's your turn to replace it. Choose a new thought, one that aligns with who you're becoming, not who you used to be, one that empowers, not limits, one that leads, not follows. Write it down, speak it aloud, post it where you'll see it every day, repeat it when it feels fake, because that's when it's working. That's when it's pushing up against the old identity. That new thought, trained with intention and repetition, becomes a new belief, and belief, over time, reshapes identity. And identity, it's the foundation of your life. Everything you do, everything you build, everything you allow, it all flows from who you believe you are. So if you want to change your life, start by upgrading your belief in who you are becoming. The most powerful transformation begins the moment you stop asking the world for permission and start giving it to yourself. When you stop saying, maybe one day, and start saying, why not now? When you stop waiting to feel ready and start moving because your purpose can't afford delay. You don't become something by accident. You become something through vision, repetition, and action. Stop waiting for someone to pick you. You've already been picked by the fire in your chest. You are not your past. You are not your fear. You are not your pain. You are not your shame. You are the person who gets to choose what happens next. You hold the pen, and the story from this day forward is yours. So from this moment forward, speak to yourself like someone who is becoming. Think like someone who is healing. Move like someone who is growing. Act like someone who is building. Show up like someone who is rising. Your thoughts are the soil. Your words are the seeds. Your actions are the water. Plant what grows power. Plant what grows clarity. Plant what grows discipline, courage, legacy. Don't just hope something changes. Train for it. Build it. Stack the habits that align with the version of you that you've already seen in your mind. That version is not a fantasy, it's your blueprint. And when that voice of doubt tries to return, and it will when it whispers, you can't, or it's too late, or you're not ready, don't try to convince it otherwise. You outwork it, you outgrow it, you override it. Not with more thinking, but with action. Because action is the loudest language of belief. Action is what tells your nervous system, this is who I am now. It rewires your brain. It reprograms your fear. It builds evidence of a new you. Identity doesn't change in theory. It changes in motion. One step, one rep, one new thought. Lived, not just repeated. You're not here to live a recycled version of your past. You're here to design a future so strong, the past becomes irrelevant. And that future begins the moment you say, I will not be ruled by thoughts I never chose. I will not live a life limited by fear that was never mine to carry. I will think power. I will speak power. I will act in power. This is your declaration. You are not the product of your thoughts. You are the author of them. So write something bold, think something powerful, live something different. Choose the future version of you.